And I just wanted to talk this week specifically about unhappiness. What's making you unhappy? Now, a lot of people, what I've done for about a year is complain. And I think a lot of times you vent to the people that understand you, but you have to get out of that when you find that that's all you can talk about. If that's all you can talk about, then it's probably a big problem. And I think that at that point, it's time to decide to make some changes. Now, granted, we all vent, and I think we just have to distinguish the difference between being unhappy, truly being unhappy about something, and just venting. Now, also, and this is putting on my heart too, please understand that when you're venting to your friends and family about relationships, a lot of times we vent about the bad. We don't ever go on and on and on that so-and-so got you flowers, or that, maybe she rubbed your feet one night, or made you dinner and you weren't expecting it, whatever. We don't brag as much about the good stuff, even when it comes to our job or whatever might be bothering us. Family members, we don't complain about the good stuff, or we don't vent about the good stuff as much as we complain about the bad stuff. So where's the difference? And it's a thin line, but I would say when you're always finding yourself talking about the problems in a situation and you're unsatisfied with the way of happy to unhappy, then that's when you probably need to decide that you want to make a change. So whether it's calling up a friend and saying, hey, I want to change this part of me, I need you to stay on me. Or maybe sometimes, like I did, you have to really hit the bottom of it and shake your head and go, it's time to get out of this hole, because talking about it doesn't change anything. And sometimes it does. Sometimes it truly does. Sometimes a conversation that young and shouting can bring about a new understanding of some things. And a lot of times people just don't do that, whether it's, again, relationships, or whether it's maybe a job you have or a problem in another area of your life, whatever the case may be. But a lot of people don't like to take the time to have the conversation. And I think sometimes after the conversation you can kind of see where it goes. And then you have to understand also habits are hard to break, so you can't expect change from a particular, at least, person overnight. Now, what you do have to understand, though, is zebra does not change its stripes. And my wife's grandmother always said it, whatever has stripes, it usually doesn't change. And you can paint it a diet, but it'll still be what it is. And so a lot of times you have to accept that other things won't change. So you can pray that God changes you in order to accept them until they change, or you can continue to pray that God changes them. Or that if it's maybe a coworker at work, instead of praying that they get fired or something of that nature, which God doesn't like to honor those things, I believe God doesn't like to honor those things, you pray that they get promotion. And this has worked for me in the past, definitely. And maybe sometimes you just need to pray for yourself. Dear Lord, get me out of this situation. I've even prayed, dear Lord, if this person isn't right for me, please remove them from my life in a way that I can deal with their removal. Or remove them from my heart so that I can still remain friends with them, but not maybe deal with them on a romantic level. But at the end of the day, what I want to really, really stress upon is life is short. And at what point do you decide your happiness is important? Your sanity is important. Today, I gave the shift away and I look for a new job. Today I look for a new apartment to live in. These are the things I've been complaining about for way too long. And although I think the problem lies in there are the good sides of it, you have to try and do some investigation and see if there are better. Figure out your pros, your cons, your deal breakers. What is going to be the point where things change? Just think about it. And it's funny because I did see For Color Girls this weekend. We'll talk about subject number 2. Great movie. I was good on the poems. I think there was maybe one too many, but I think it's sad as an African-American race that even though it was a subject that was so touchy, we didn't make it number 1. Don't get me, Megamind, I love animated movies, great, but we didn't make this number 1. And fellas, I'm going to tell you, if you can sit through the poems, every man that wants to date a black woman or knows a black woman, you need to see this movie. It touches on so many subjects. One of the characters, not to tell it all, lost two things very valuable to her, and Felicia Rashad's character looked at her and said, you have to take some responsibility for that. So when you get to a point in your life where things are chaotic and they've gone over that brink of chaos, or you're losing your mind, you have to look and say, at what point didn't I draw the line and say, this is enough? This is enough. I have to take my sanity and I have to leave this situation. So is it your job? Is it your relationship? Is it where you're living? Is it the environment that you're living in? Is it what you're doing to yourself? Is it what you're doing to your body? You know, you really have to do that, and then you have to pray you have to pray. I can't just be on this and not talk about it. You have to say, one of my favorite prayers, God, give me eyes to see, ears to hear, a heart to receive it. And I add on to it, and then give me the fearlessness to carry out what it is I need to change. And dear Lord, let me see me through other people's eyes. Let me see my faults through other people's eyes so I can become more like you. Show me what you need to show me in order to become more like you. Put your conviction in me. And so I just want to make sure that if you haven't seen it, go see it. But I want to make sure that we get to a place of just being responsible for our own happiness and deciding that it is important and doing something about it today. And so whatever it is making you unhappy, maybe you need to write it down, keep a journal, talk to other people, let them know that you want them to help you change, or tell, what have I been talking about lately? What do you think, I need to work on? Why do you think that I'm unhappy or not satisfied or not where I need to be? And, sometimes success can make you unhappy because I've been successful in other areas and then that success wasn't the success that I wanted, or that success in other people's eyes turned into failures, and then I'm looking like I don't want to spend my time chasing after something else that's not going to be for me. And so with that kind of back-to-back disappointment in trying to better myself, I hit a wall where I really didn't want to do anything else. I didn't want to go outside my box, and I'm always an entrepreneur. I'm always having my hands in something. I just kind of hit a wall where I was not driven or determined to go further because I didn't want to go in the wrong direction. I didn't want to fail in the wrong direction. Again, I wanted to succeed in the right direction. And so, did I knock myself out of the box for just, was I pausing or was I not moving anymore? Was I pausing to go in the right direction, or was I just totally distraught by the failures that had occurred in my life that I didn't want to move forward? Life is more than short, and I think that you should live it to the fullest and don't spend it being unhappy, especially when there are things that you can change yourself. So, that's it for this week. Bye.